All right. Let's get started with Shot or No Shot. This has been a debate all week on the other shows. Pete Crow-Armstrong continuing to make history seemingly every day. I've heard this from McGrath. I've heard it from Aki because he's still significantly trailing Shohei Ohtani in the MVP odds. Ohtani's the favorite at like minus 20,000. It's insane. Pete is second best odds to win MVP in the NL, 25-1. He has already hit the 2020 mark on the season. He's having a better season at the plate than Ohtani to this point, but Ohtani's pitching, obviously, a 1.79 ERA, 85 and 2/3 innings pitched, 95 strikeouts. But shot or no shot, PCA can catch Ohtani for MVP.
If Ohtani stays healthy, no shot. No shot. It is what it is. Now, if heaven forbid he got injured, or I'm not talking about seriously, but he missed 10 days, 2 weeks, yeah. But you also got to remember, Pete has to keep up the level he's playing at. He's playing at a Hall of Fame level. Mm-hmm. Like if he put these numbers up for the next several years, he will have accumulated enough WAR that there's no player in history that didn't go to the Hall of Fame with the type of WAR numbers that he would have. That is asking an extreme amount from a 24-year-old kid to keep playing at this level. Like every day, I texted my brother last night. He was out to dinner. I go, PCA hit 2 more. He's like, what? Again? Like, can you do this an entire season and then do it next season and the next season? You got to show me.
So it's too bad it's not the NBA because PCA would be a shoo-in.
Voter fatigue exists in the NBA.
Right. Like Karl Malone will get his, or somebody other than LeBron, like Derek. And Derek was great. Yeah. But, I mean, look at the numbers, and LeBron probably should have got it.
That would be you could cash in if this is the NBA, but it's Major League Baseball. And I think that the voters will side with the 61-win ball club because he's that two-way guy, Cap. Most valuable as a pitcher, most valuable as a hitter. Both of those things are true. And so that's the reason why that Shohei would be over PCA. PCA's had a terrific year. Again, it does not start in April. It starts in May. And now he's just been on a tear ever since, offensively and defensively. But everything is about Los Angeles and the Dodgers and what Shohei is doing. I do not want to underrate what Shohei is doing because I marvel at a guy that in this era can pitch and hit. We read about this as kids about Babe Ruth and said, that can't be true. He pitched and hit. We're seeing this in real time. So Correct. As long as that guy continues to pitch and hit at a high level and the Dodgers keep winning, he'll always be one of the top guys for the MVP.
I've said this to you before. Shohei Ohtani has shown me enough. He's the greatest player in the history of the sport.
Correct.
Fair. Absolutely.
It's not close.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm actually glad there's no voter fatigue in baseball because knowing while we're watching it that we're seeing the greatest player in history and the voters continuing to just have the appreciation where if he's playing, he's winning MVP. That's the way it should be. Like how many years did we watch LeBron and go, this is at worst the second best player to ever grace an NBA court? And the voters were like, yeah, but he's won 3 already. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm glad that in baseball we're just like, no, this is the greatest player we've ever seen, MVP.
Let's just move it around. Here you go, Stephen Nash. Take a couple. Here's Jokic. Take a couple. Like, no. If you're the best of the best, you should always be rewarded, getting your just desserts, Cap. That's how it works.
Fair.
Not in the NBA, though. But Major League Baseball, and this is no shot at PCA, but Shohei is doing things that we never thought that we'd see.
Like, if you think about who's the best pitcher in the sport, you go, maybe Mizorowski. Ohtani's numbers are better.
That's crazy.
Like, Ohtani is ridiculous. Oh, and by the way, he's the most impactful bat in the game.
And the face of the sport.
No question.
The face of the sport.
Like, anybody that doesn't think he's the greatest player of all time, I don't know what you're looking at. A friend of mine, my buddy Dave, said, oh, Babe Ruth's ahead of him. I'm like, are you insane?
No duck.
Like, Babe Ruth was amazing. Amazing. He was hitting more home runs by himself than teams were hitting. Great. Ohtani's at a different level. Sorry.
Why is duck so strange?
Tell me about it.
Why is Dave?
Yeah.
Dave
He works at Harborside Golf Course.
Yes.
If you're up there getting ready to tee off and he's there, tell him he's an idiot.
That's not right. Don't do that.
He's not an idiot as a person. He's an idiot with his baseball knowledge.
I don't understand that though. Like I wasn't alive. Nobody really was alive at this point in history to watch Babe Ruth play.
Correct.
Even if you were alive when Babe Ruth were playing, you were too young to have been able to watch him, and nobody was. And I don't even know what games were even televised. Like, forget it. You would have to go to a game to see Babe Ruth play. Why would anybody take the stance of like, he's the greatest ever? Nobody alive could see him.
But I understand that point, but also, you know how we are all into numbers when it comes to baseball, even if we hadn't seen guys. It's about the stats. Nothing is more stat riddled and celebrated in baseball like the stat.
But I've interviewed guys who played with him.
Well, we don't do that in football. We don't do that in basketball. As you well know, Shay, even today in 2026, we look at teams, we look at players, and we just go chapter and verse by the stats. And people are all inspired, and their eyes are popping out when they see the numbers, even if they didn't see them.
But, Hoodie, I've interviewed guys in my career. Waddle and I had the late Don Larson, who threw the perfect game in the World Series. We had him in studio. And that was one of the questions that we asked. Like, Babe Ruth. He said, you can't fathom how good he was. He said he was just, there was all of us, and there was that dude. That's how the game was.
Don Larson started his career 20 years after Babe Ruth
But
retired.
he watched him. Like he said it was like a different sport. There was a bunch of guys through the year. Harry Carey. I remember him talking about him. He said, you can't. I did a show. Me, Jack Buck, Harry Carey,
right.
Jack Brickhouse. That was the show.
That'll be fun.
And I have no photo from it. It breaks my heart. And they all said, it was like you dropped an alien in and then there was this Major League Baseball. He said, that guy would have played and been a superstar in any era. But I don't think he is as dominant, strength-wise, conditioning, everything, that Shohei is. I don't.
Of course, those guests were on GN because they had to entertain the dead, the listener. Shay.
Caleb
He was selling the ball from his perfect game to pay for his kids' college. That's why we got him.
You were entertaining those that actually saw him. The GN audience that was 90 and over, gumming their food at night.
Oh.
Wow.
All right, go to the younger generation here. Caleb Williams reposted a TikTok yesterday that featured CJ Stroud saying the Bears should keep Justin Fields if they're smart, before laughing at the idea of the Bears being smart, and then featured the infamous handshake with Caleb, which then became a Caleb Williams highlight reel. Mm-hmm. Shot or no shot, Caleb reposting this means he has real beef with CJ Stroud.
That's a shot.
Mm-hmm.
That's a shot. Like, why now?
Because he is marking his territory like a dog would. Meaning that I know that there's a lot of young quarterbacks around me, but I've got my crosshairs on you. You're not the darling anymore. It's me. How about that?
I don't understand why guys get caught up in that stuff, but I think that when C.J. Stroud little brothered him in the loss we had in Caleb's rookie year, a game we had the ball late, could have won, I think that he lost him right there.
Cap, I just think that there are certain athletes that need motivation, more so than their coach, more so than their agent, more so than their teammates. Sometimes in your own quiet times, you're like, you know what? I'm better than that guy. You see what I did last year? I'm better than that guy. So I'm just want him to know, like, I'm here. I'm coming. And you're yesterday's news. The next one we're going to see is him and Jaden Daniels. I'm sure that's next. Right?
Maybe.
And because that's just how you do it. When you're in business, when you're in entertainment, it's one thing for you to do your thing, but also you kind of look to the side and go, you know what? I'm going to keep working hard. I'm going to be better than this guy. I'm going to be better than this person. And I think that for Caleb, that's a chip on his shoulder. I like it.
Let me ask you a question. Shay, you always ask us the questions. Shot or no shot, if you were running the draft for the Bears and you could redraft 2024, you'd still take Caleb number 1, and Drake May would not be the number 1 pick.
I'm not even interested in doing this again.
No.
Didn't we do this last year?
Question.
I said I'd pick Drake May.
You take Drake May today over Caleb in the draft.
Oh my, we did this 6 months ago, Cap.
Just answer the question.
I just did answer the question, and now you're going to call me stupid because I have a different opinion than
I'm
you.
not going to.
That's why I'm not
say
interested
anything.
in doing this.
I just want you on air, on the record, to say you would take Drake May.
But I just told you we did this 6 months ago. I don't understand why we're doing it again. You're baiting me into giving you an answer where then I have a different opinion or an opinion you disagree with, and you're going to say I'm an idiot, or you're going to get me on wax in 6 months like you're doing with the Tigers right now and go, see, I told you. So I'm not interested in your little bait trap. I see right through it.
It's not
put
a
the
bait
cheese
trap.
out.
I just
put your
want
little
you.
mouse trap out. I'm not going to get caught in this. I already said it.
Okay. Save that tape, Jay Moore. Thank you.
See, Hoodie?
That's what it was for, you see. The old radio trick.
That's it.
Jay Moore's got it. He's already marked it. And by the way, Cap, with perspective, as you well know, this changes every year because we've got plenty of evidence of a young quarterback is the cat's ass this year, and all of a sudden there's injuries or there's an issue, and then that team or that quarterback goes sideways, and then someone else steps up. This is like the C.J. Stroud, Caleb Williams conversation we're having, right? Everybody loved Jaden Daniels. Everyone, and then all of a sudden, not so good now. Now it's Caleb's time. Will someone be able to usurp where Caleb Williams is right now in the hierarchy of young quarterbacks? We're going to find out, aren't we?
We are.
Drake May's the guy that went to the Super Bowl, and he was not the doorman at the Four Seasons. He had put up numbers too now. Don't forget.
He finished second in MVP vote. Like we did this last week when we went through the top 10 quarterback rankings wherever they were from. And Cap and I started arguing about the same thing because I said there's no way you could look at anything empirical and tell me that Caleb is better than Drake May right now. That could change.
Yes.
But there's nothing empirical that suggests that.
Now
my eyes.
Well, the hope
That's
is
not empirical. That's your opinion.
That is true. Cap, the thing is that what you're hoping is that for this year, that it's not about Drake May. It's about Caleb Williams taking the Bears to another step. Like, where the Patriots were this past season. Super Bowl. That'd be awesome.
I hope he does.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you, I don't know any football executive that would take Drake May over Caleb right now if they were redrafted.
Okay, go ask Elliot Wolf. Like, what are we talking about?
Wolf, yes.
I'm sure that the Bears executives who you speak to are saying we'd still take Caleb Williams. Of course they would. They should say
those
that.
two
They should
teams
feel
out
that
of it.
way.
Any reasonable football executive that's not tied to the two teams, they would all take Caleb first.
You have no idea if that's true, and it's an outrageous thing to claim that it's true. It's outrageous.
And Cap, the difference between you and I is that I don't work with football executives. I work with you. That opinion's good enough, even if we differ. I don't farm out opinions and put the fishing pole out to get other opinions on the players I watch every day. I just take your opinion, my opinion, and we blend it together. Oh, I don't need the expertise. I'll get it from Waddle and Thayer. They played the game. But I don't need to ask other general managers their thoughts about Caleb Williams. I'll take your thoughts to my thoughts. Thanks.
Like, here's how I would answer it, honestly, Cap. If you're really like, if I were the Bears, if I'm the GM of the Bears, would I still go back and draft Caleb? Of course I would. Because if you're the Bears, you should be happy with the quarterback you picked. You feel like you got the right guy for you. But if you're asking me as a fan what I would do in a redraft of all, I would take Drake May today. You're asking me today, but the reason I got so snappy is don't do what you've been doing and come back at me in 6 months if information that's been presented to us has changed and go, see, moron, I told you, see, I smelled what you were cooking. I knew exactly what you were doing. You were trying to bait me into a trap. I'm answering the question today because you're asking me today.
Rudy Poo Candy ass.
The Rock.
Whatever, Shay.
See, he's got nothing.
He's got nothing. All right.
I'm not going to, because the point of the exercise is to put yourself in a GM seat and go, Okay, where am I going to be in 2 years? Where am I going to be in 5 years? Is this the long-term thing for my team? I don't see a scenario where any intelligent football executive would take Drake May over Caleb. Not saying that the guy picking second wouldn't get a really good player. He is. Caleb is clearly better.
You want to make a bet right now? I'll make a bet with you right now. July 13th, ESP. Oh, you're going to be off next week, so we won't be able to do this with you live on the air, which stinks. Maybe we'll call you. July 13th, ESPN.com reveals their quarterback rankings as sourced by NFL coaches and executives. I will bet you whatever you like that Drake May is ahead of Caleb on that list.
Okay.
That's
not the point of my exercise.
That's exactly what you just said. You just said any intelligent football executive would choose Caleb over Drake May. We got a list coming out in 4 days that is sourced from executives and coaches. I will bet you anything you want Drake May's in front of it.
That's not the point.
That's what you just said. Hoodie, appeal down the line.
Yes.
Is that not exactly what he said?
That is not what I said.
Executives would take
not some
Drake,
football
would take Caleb.
Article.
This
if
isn't
you
a
had
football
a
article,
draft,
Cap. It's ESPN.com asking coaches and executives who they would rank where at the positions. Quarterbacks comes out in 4 days. It'll be executives and you could take the bet and win. Maybe you're right, and all the execs will say Caleb's better.
That's not what the question is. The question is if you were sitting in a draft right now and you had the number one pick, who are you taking? You're taking freaking Caleb Williams, and if you say you're not, you're a moron.
Who's winning this battle?
Cap, and it's over on ESPN 1000. Take that.
As the world turns with the young and dumb.
Young and dumb is right.
Kap and J. Morning 6 to 9.